The trilogy is on. Canelo Alvarez and Gennady Golovkin will face each other for the third time, and I just wanted to give you my initial reaction to this fight getting announced. And if I'm being honest, I'm actually quite stoked for this. I know some people's initial reactions are Golovkin is well past his prime and this fight should have happened 3 or 4 years ago. But part of me still is quite happy this is happening. I know Golovkin has obviously been chasing for this ever since the second fight, and I think he's always felt very hard done by in both fights. Obviously the first one, the second fight was very close. The most recent time I watched it, I actually scored it a draw, but overall I do think Golovkin edged both fights for me personally. But since then, Canelo is a different animal. He's turned into this top class pressure fighter who no one has really been able to handle, obviously, until his most recent defeat to Bivol, who was just a better boxer overall, had better footwork in terms of fighting on the back foot and using the jab. And I always thought, Canelo would just have enough to beat Bivol. But obviously there's weight classes for a reason, and he's probably made a smart decision going back down to super middleweight for this fight, which I believe it will be for all those titles, which is also quite nice. It makes this fight a lot more iconic, I guess, between these two greats. And yeah, I know lots of people will be quite negative in terms of that it is kind of past when it should have happened, but I always say, when there's great fighters about, you need to appreciate them when they're here, because people love to moan and complain when they're here, but as soon as they're gone, they love them. And I think that's why we should be excited for this fight. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Are you excited about this, or are you not? I'd love to know. But I guess going into both fighters, for Gennady Golovkin, it'll be interesting to see the move up to super middleweight. Obviously, I think he fought super middleweight against the Canadian guy Rolls back in 2019, 2018, I believe that was. And it'll be interesting to see, how he kind of is at that weight against Canelo, who has been fighting at that weight for the last 3-4 years pretty much. And yeah, I think it will maybe suit Golovkin to be able to go up in weight. He won't need to cut down as much. And you never know, maybe all the jumping around in weight for Canelo will actually affect him going down again. But personally, I think he is most comfortable there, and no doubt that is why the fight is obviously at super middleweight for all the titles, as he was never going to cut down to middleweight again. But yeah, it's interesting. I probably will do a tactical overview video for this fight now. It will be such a huge occasion for the boxing world, so I'll make sure to get a video out for that, guys, at some point in the future. But yeah, I'm interested. I am intrigued. I think obviously we all know Canelo's the favourite, but Golovkin, he still had some very good moments in his last fight versus Murata, and you just never know with boxing. I think it's a difficult one for me to kind of pick Golovkin just right now. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts as well. Do you think Golovkin has any chance? I think it is possible, but it's not out of the question. If I think he chooses to come and fight Canelo personally, like the first fight, I think he has a better chance. He needs to just stick it on him pretty much, instead of what he did in the second fight using his jab. However, Canelo is no pushover in those up-close encounters, and you can just see Canelo targeting the body of Golovkin, probably, trying to kill the old man basically with the body shots. But Golovkin can still bang, we saw that. And my initial thoughts are the first kind of 6 rounds could be really competitive, because for Golovkin, this is his last chance. He won't be able to box for much longer, so he needs to make the most of this opportunity and go for it. So yeah, that's why I'm excited for this fight. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. Make sure to comment below. As always, guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.